It's the Lumix S5ii. There it is. Okay, so for the specifications for the Panasonic Lumix S5ii, we have a 24 megapixel BSI CMOS sensor with on-sensor phase detection, up to 30 frames per second e-shutter, shooting with continuous autofocus and raw capture, 96 megapixel multi-shot high-resolution mode, 6K at 3.2, open gate, video capture up to 30p, 10-bit color, 4K up to 60p, unlimited record times, dual conversion gain sensor with explicit dual native ISO gain selection, cooling fan, twin UHS-2 card slots, and optional paid upgrade for raw video output if you wanted that as well. If you were to go ahead and get the S5ii, some of the additional features you would be getting would be the raw video output, video recording to SSD over USB, all eye compression modes, internal ProRes capture, and wired/wireless IP streaming. So my first initial thoughts when opening up this Lumix S5ii were that the quality was really nice. I really liked the way the body felt in my hand. The side grip where your hand goes on is nice and firm. There's no concern of whether or not you're going to drop the camera. Coming from the X-T2 from Fujifilm, that was a much different situation. A lot of people get attachments for that camera so they don't drop it. This one isn't going anywhere. The LCD screen flips out and it works nicely. It doesn't flip up, so if you have mic wires or HDMI wires connected to the side, there may be some interference that could be frustrating for people who like to use a display or a monitor, and also a shotgun mic, which I need to get one. Other than that though, the box comes with the power cable and the outlet adapter, which has the high-speed SSD charging cord. So the lens coming up next is a 20 to 60 millimeter full frame S lens from Sony. It is a L mount lens. This lens, I do not know much about this lens right now. I haven't had much experience using it. As in terms of build quality, how it feels in my hand, it feels nice and sturdy. It is made out of plastic. However, the plastic does feel premium. It doesn't feel plasticky. It doesn't feel like it's going to crack or break. There is one thing I have noticed: when you are zooming, the lens does make a little bit of noise from the internal cylinder, which zooms outwards. It's not an internal zoom system. It does actually zoom out to the full 60 millimeter range, and in the process of doing that, there is a little bit of zoom noise, and it's not electronic noise. It's definitely a plastic on plastic rubbing noise, and hopefully that's not too audible in the video. This could be something that you could have to consider if you are someone who likes to do a lot of zooming while you're taking videos. Other than that though, everything seems to be completely working fine and packaged well. Okay, we got this Lumix S5ii out of the box, battery in. My first impressions are this camera is amazing. This camera quality is something I'm not used to. I mean, the buttons feel solid. Coming from Fuji, I appreciate the dials on top. The dials aren't for exposure and shutter speed. However, it's the same kind of style, I guess. I haven't really gotten a chance to play with it, obviously. I just opened it. So I'm gonna have to kind of use it a little bit, play around with it. But my first initial thought is it's heavier with the lens on than the X-T2. At least the lens I had from X-T2 was just the 1855 kit lens. I found that one was great for photos, and because I was mainly shooting only photo with that camera, I decided never to upgrade. So I don't know, if you're coming from Fuji over to Panasonic, you may notice that maybe it's lighter, because if you had the Fuji 25 or 1024, whichever one it was, or any of that trifecta lens that Fuji offers from Fujinon, I don't know how heavy those are. I mean, they were like $1,200 a pop, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money on a camera lens and then still want to get a new camera for video. So that's why I chose to not upgrade and go down the Fuji kind of area, due to the fact that I wanted to be able to make sure the body did what I wanted for my shooting before I went ahead and got a ton of money worth of lenses. So yeah, everything seems to be absolutely working no problem here. I mean, the flaps for the full-size HDMI, SSD, everything's really new and crisp. 2 microphone jacks, one microphone and 1 headphone jack. And yeah, everything just feels nice. Honestly, I have no complaints over the feeling of it. How it feels in my hands, also great. Now, if you were gonna use, like, I'm probably gonna use this slightly for the vlog style. I mean, of course, I bought it to be able to do that. The flip screen, it's perfect for that, right? But this is a pretty heavy camera to be carrying around. I mean, you're on a hiking trail and you're trying to carry, it's probably overkill for a vlog, right? Like, let's be honest. This is a professional camera that can do cinema. I mean, it shoots 6K, shoots 4K at 60. Like, there really is a lot you can do with this camera, and if you're just buying this camera to, you know, stick it 2 feet away from you and record your life, then it's definitely overkill. However, if you're gonna get this camera and use it for a whole different types of filming or photography, and you're not really sure where you're at, but you want to get the right piece of gear that you won't have to upgrade for a very long time, and you can practice all of those things and figure out what you really like, you can just stick with the camera afterwards once you find what you really like to do and use that same camera, instead of spending the money on a mid-range camera or a beginner and then buying lenses for that camera and trying to modify those cameras to make it suit what you want to do with it. I've been down that road, I've done that, and I found that it was just something that hindered my creativity. I didn't feel like I wanted to take my camera out and take video because I didn't think it was going to be good video. The Fujifilm X-T2 specifically had terrible image control, even with the lens stabilization, terrible. It was basically unwatchable. It was too jarring, shaky. At least with this, you can experiment and you can figure out, okay, do I just want to point it at my face? Do I want to point it at my family? Do I want to point it at things that's going on around me? Do I want to stick it on a tripod and create a film? Do I want to, like, you can literally make, you can get a cage for this, and you don't need a gimbal, but you can get a full cage, and you can shoot commercials. I'm sure a lot of commercial photography you can do with this, with the quality that's inside of it. But yeah, my first look in the viewfinder, and the viewfinder looks very nice, very bright, very large. To be at 20 millimeters and see this much, I'm not used to a full frame. Obviously my Fuji was an APS-C camera, so I'm excited to see what that's going to be like. All right, so now I'm on the Lumix S5ii instead of my cell phone, and I feel like you guys probably already noticed a pretty big difference with that. So right now I'm holding the S5ii in my hand. I've got it on the tripod still, but it's in my hand. I'm gonna walk around with it. I'm gonna show you how good that internal stabilizer really is. Looks like it's not moving very much. It's not gimbal-like. I have it on auto settings. I don't have any. I haven't touched the settings, so the body stabilization is set on. Autofocus is on. There is no stabilization for the thing. Sorry for the lens. I'm already noticing though with the tripod, this is a heavy camera I'll be holding out here all the time. Of course, it's a lot lighter without the tripod, but that said, if you're going to be using this for vlogging, you're going to want to get something like the Gorilla Pod or something that's really light, because this is going to be hard on your shoulder if you're walking around a lot for an extended period of time doing this kind of thing. Let's set this back down so the video is not so shaky. Alright guys, so basically that's the day. Yeah, it was a pretty long day. Got the hike in, got the unboxing for the camera finally, and I shared you guys some of my feelings and thoughts about this camera. I hope you liked the video. I'm really excited to start doing a lot more videos with this camera and with my family. Thanks for tuning in for this video. I cannot wait to make more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm definitely ready. Hopefully the Amazon guy makes it to the house. I managed to get a drone shot of the truck as I was driving too, which was a first.